in to Game 9 Live Rewind's Game of the Week, presented by Haddon Associates and brought to you by the Riley Jensen Mental Performance Group. We've got a great one in Region 3 for you tonight as Copper Hills travels to take on the Bingham Miners. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. Pleased to be joined by Cypress head coach Trey Smith. Trey, this is a great region matchup. Two teams undefeated in region play. Copper Hills coming in with a lot of momentum and one of real good kind of combo guards in the state in McCoy Langston.
I think it's going to be a good matchup between McCoy and Dupay from Bingham. I think McCoy brings a lot to the table. You know, he can score it. He can get his teammates involved. Good defender. It's going to be a good game today.
You talk about Cam Dupay of Bingham. This is a team in Bingham. They're ranked second in the state. They've got Dupay. He's kind of the headliner. They've got Luke Leatherwood, who can absolutely stroke it. He's had a great year. A young point guard and ace riser. You saw this Bingham team earlier this year. This is a really balanced roster for Coach Stratman.
They have 5 guys that are in double figures, right? So even when our team, we go and scout them, right, it's tough to really key on one guy. You just got to you can't take everything away. You got to hope to take 1 or 2 things and live with the rest.
These two teams are tied in region play, 4-0 apiece. Bingham 15-2 on the year. Copper Hills 11-2 on the year. Got a good student section from both squads here tonight. It is going to be a dandy. Trey, when you look at this game, give us keys for each side that you think got to perform if they want to come out with a win.
I think a big key for Copper Hills would be transition offense. If they can get out and run a little bit, right, and give themselves early opportunities, I think they'll be fine. The one thing that Bingham brings to the table, they have good length, good athleticism, right? And Carlson, great shot blocker.
You talked about Carlson. We didn't even mention him. Devin Carlson, the 6'8 senior. This is a loaded roster for Bingham. And talk about top 5 matchup here. There's another great matchup in the state tonight. Davis and Farmington. Davis, the top-ranked team in the state. There's some big-time basketball being played right now. And look, there's another top 10 matchup coming up this week, Cypress and Kern. So, look, we're middle of region play. It's a good time to be a basketball fan, isn't it?
Hey, this is what it's about. You get to this time of the year, right? For us as coaches, it's about us being able to play our best basketball in February. You know, so that's the key. But with this matchup, you got Davis and Farmington. I'm sure that's going to be a great matchup as well. And us and Kern's Friday, it's going to be fun.
Bingham in the home white uniforms, Copper Hills in the road navy, and we are underway here from Bingham High School. The Miners winning the tip. Want to let you know the clock on your screen is unofficial. We'll do our best to keep that synchronized with the clock here in the arena. As Bingham on first possession, they were inside. Carlson trying to work here on Moyer. Count the bucket, and the foul for Devin Carlson as Bingham off to a good start inside.
That's going to be the key tonight. I think Luke, 25 from Copper Hills, needs to do a good job and just stay between him and the basket, and I think he'll be fine. But that's going to be the key tonight. I think they want to attack low and give Carlson that basketball.
Devin Carlson averages 11 points a game, 7 rebounds a game. He's got the first 3 for Bingham here tonight. First possession for the Grizzlies. Sorensen works over with Kyson Hymas. Hymas, a junior, being guarded here tightly by Newbold. Moyer trying to drive out with Hymas. Backdoor cut by Langston. Good vision, but that one broken up by Carlson.
And I think a really good matchup we're going to see tonight. I think a couple of the best point guards in our classification between Ace and Q. Both were number 2 for both teams. But
backdoor lob.
Great pass by Dupay. Great pass.
There are very few teams in 6A this year that I think have the height to be able to execute that. Devin Carlson, certainly one of them. 5-0 the start here for Bingham. And an offensive foul. Tough start for Copper Hills here on the road. That'll be the second team foul.
That's going to hurt Copper. That's going to hurt Copper Hills a little bit as far as length goes to take care of Carlson down low.
Yeah, Howick coming on the floor here as Moyer having picked up his second. That is certainly noteworthy. Not even 2 minutes into the contest. Looking in for Dupay. Hymas breaks it up. This is McCoy Langston. We talked about him in the open. He's been great late, averaging 15 points a game, 7 boards. Had 25 in the win over Mountain Ridge last week, including 4 threes. They're going to drive here, cut off the foul call on Reiser. Coach, Copper Hills, tough to get anything inside. How do you try to settle this roster down if you're a Copper Hills coach right now?
You know, what I think about Copper Hills is they execute extremely well. You know, I think once coach gets into his bag a little bit, you know, gives these guys a set, I think he's letting them play a little bit right now, kind of figure out Bingham and what they're going to be doing defensively. But, you know, I think one of the best executing teams in our state, to be honest.
That pass was last touched by Bingham. Grizzlies will have the inbound on the baseline. Quincy to trigger that.
Good defense.
Hills having to back it out. Working here on Newbold. Step back 3. Quincy just off the mark. Rebounded by Dupay. Reiser through the middle. Count the bucket. Ace Reiser getting to the rim, and another and one opportunity here for the Miners. And a timeout taken here by Copper Hills.
Ace, the kid can play in transition. You know, I think that's one of the best things about his game. You know, he plays at a great pace, right? He's never sped up. You watch the kid he plays real under control all game.
You know, you talk about some of the best point guards in our classification on the floor here tonight. Ace is just a sophomore. That's the amazing thing. He's so young. You know, you think of another young point guard at Olympus and Jordy Barnes, right? Young kid. There's some great point guards. You've got yourself a couple great guards, some juniors at Cypress in Q and Diego. Feels like we got a lot of great guard play ahead of us the next couple of years in the state of Utah.
No, they do it. Diego Mulford, he's actually a sophomore as well.
Oh, that's right. He is a year younger than Q. I forgot that.
Yeah, so Q's a junior, Diego's a sophomore. You know, but I think the guard play here in our state, extremely well, good, skilled players.
We're going to circle back to that. We've got a couple questions that we'll ask Trey tonight over the course of the broadcast. We're going to keep those. We'll get to it. Free throw good for Reiser, 8-0.
But I'm telling you, these student sections, you love to see both of them. They both brought it today.
We got reflective gear from the Copper Hills behind the basket. Coach Watkins saying, I'm going to ask him to take it off in the second half when we're shooting at that end.
You love to see it, though.
Yeah, right? Sorensen, boy, this Bingham defense, tough. Howick hits the 3, first point of the contest for the Grizzlies. I wonder if that helps them to settle in offensively a little bit. High screen by Carlson. There he is, Devin. Sending out. In the corner, here's a 3 from Newbold. Tyler Newbold dials one up. 11-3 Bingham.
If there's anybody you do not want to leave, it's Newbold. The kid can shoot it, shoots it at a high clip.
And we've got a foul here called on the Miners. It's the tough thing with this Bingham lineup. You mentioned in the pregame, 5 guys that score double figures. Kind of like, well, pick your poison on some nights. And that time Newbold makes them pay from the corner.
No, between Leatherwood and Newbold, you know, it's a tough task, right? You know, when Bingham gets out in transition, they run, and those guys stay spaced, right? You leave Ace the middle of the floor. You leave Dupay to run the middle of the floor, right? Spacing-wise, they're tough to guard.
That's a good play to find Langston in the corners. Bingham brought that help. He hits a timely 3 for Copper Hills. First half's really important for these two teams as Carlson works over with Cam Dupay. Devin will take the 3. Off the mark, minus the board. Midway through this first quarter. Miscommunication there. Copper Hills turning it over. We've got a stoppage here. Coach, you've been in a couple of these games. How do you try to keep your team in it when the opposition gets off to such a hot start like Bingham has here tonight?
I think Coach did a great job, calling a timeout, getting your guys to settle, right, kind of getting them settled in a little bit. But, they come out, they hit a three, hit a couple of threes, get a few points on the board. I think Copper Hills is fine. They're just kind of finding their rhythm right now as of late.
This is Leatherwood. Luke, he'll pull for three. It is a good start for Bingham from long range. There's Sorensen.
I think with Bingham right now, they've been very sound defensively. They're just solid, keep everything in front. They know Copper Hills wants to get a lot of backdoors, a lot of backdoor action to their basket. They're staying between themselves and their man.
Well, and their length. I mean, across the board, they've got good length to disrupt passing lanes. I was thinking the same thing. It's been a tough defense for Copper Hills to crack. Langston off the spin, off target, Dupay with the board. The drive from Luke. Two more for Leatherwood, and the lead is 10 here in our first.
You got to keep Bingham out of transition. You have to.
What a start. A pair of undefeated teams in Region 3 play. Bingham looking dialed in. Hymas. Langston will hand off to Hills. Nothing in the paint right now either. Everyone's on the outside for Copper Hills.
Good defense by Bingham as of now.
Roll there by Howick.
And here's the tough part about, and I think one of the best parts about Bingham is, having the opportunity to have Carlson even switch out on guards, and he does a good job even staying in front of guards, right? We played Bingham earlier in the year, when we had, Jay was hurt and we had some foul trouble. They put Carlson on cue.
Wow.
and that was a tough matchup. It makes a tough matchup for any smaller guard, right? But he moves his feet real well. Athletic, long. They offer a lot of length and size.
Another foul called here, and that one called on Dupay. His second. So remember. Moyer had to go to the bench with two for Copper Hills. Dupay just picked up his second. He has to come off the floor here for Bingham. Langston off the inbound. The three. McCoy dialing up another one. And a timeout taken by Bingham. Good response there for McCoy Langston.
A little miscommunication on Bingham's part. They didn't know who had the ball. Right. I think that's one of the frustrations that Coach Stratman's here that's showing in this huddle right now.
Coach, we talked a little bit about point guard play in the state of Utah. You were a guard in the state of Utah. How has guard play evolved since you were a prep player to now?
I can tell you, it's a lot better now. I'll tell you, some of the things these kids do in terms of their skill development and their trainers they go and see, I couldn't do it. But Utah basketball, it's come a long ways, man. It really has. I know a lot of guys, whether it's West Coast or throughout the country, and Utah, we developed some good ball players over here.
You can say you weren't very good. One of us on the stream played basketball at the U. The other one didn't. So we'll leave it at that. As Reiser sends out. Newbold working with Leatherwood.
Copper Hills, good defense here.
Tough
Great
step
defense.
back. Offensive board there from Whitehead. Three on the way. Bryson Sautis for three.
I think one of the biggest things for Copper Hills, you gotta one and dones have to be a priority for you. They get the shot that they want. You got to rebound. You got to box out.
McCoy Langston feeling it from long range as he answers with a three of his own. Right now, McCoy's keeping them in this game, Trey.
Now, one look, you give a good player like McCoy one open look, that basket opens up, right? You gain confidence.
They're looking inside for Whitehead, couldn't get him the ball. Here's Reiser now. Inside of a minute to go here in our first quarter. Ace able to fight through, and Reiser with a nice floater in the lane.
Good play by Ace, good pace, coming off the pick and roll. Good screen by Whitehead.
Coach, are you a fan of holding for last possessions in these situations?
I think it's a little long right now. You know, you got 25 seconds left. I think you try to find your best available shot. You get below 15 or so, right? Nothing's there. You know, then you can pull it out and go for the last shot.
You know, that's true shot clock mentality right there. We got some. I've seen coaches hold for $1.45, right? Not Trey Smith, man. We're inside of 20, then we'll do it.
Yeah, you got to play, man. I think kids want to play, you know. But in going to our next topic, right? The shot clock coming to Utah is huge for coaches. It's huge for players. I know the players are gonna love it, right? Opportunity for kids to get out and play the game, right?
Yeah.
And coaches got to teach the game.
It's gonna be great for a lot of people. I cannot wait. 10 seconds left here in the first. Langston, it's been great. Whitehead trying to hedge. Sorensen, little pump fake. Nathan for three off the front of the rim, and the first quarter expires. 3-point shooting in bunches. Bingham leading Copper Hills 21-12 after the first. You're watching Game Night Live, everyone's Game of the Week, presented by Haddam Associates and brought to you by the Riley Jensen Mental Performance Group.
I think it's very exciting for our employees here in corporate office to work day in and day out to make a better future for our customers. If I did not think about us as a storage company, I would tell everyone we are a technology company.
There's just a ton of innovation that comes through every single day. So the people that work really hard are the people who succeed here and are willing to work with the different innovation that is coming up at Extra Space as well. One of our values is teamwork. If you ask anyone any questions around here, they're always happy to help. I've noticed that the people who stick around are the people who are team players.
We're a fast-paced, growing organization. There are lots and lots of opportunities to grow here.
And you kind of get that feel when you work here that everyone's trying to do a good job in order to grow with the company.
I cannot imagine a more exciting place for people to come and work and have an impact to the organization and to their lives.
Start of the second quarter. Dane Stewart, Trey Smith, head coach of Cypress High School, joining us here tonight. Bingham leading 21-12 after the first. Here's Moyer. Just missed that. He had to leave early on in foul trouble. Luke on the floor here in the second quarter. I love they go right to him. Just missed a shot.
You know, I think what that says about Luke is, you know, coach trusts me, right? I know he picked up two early ones, right? Because, you know, sometimes as a coach, you don't know whether, you know, do you sit your big or whoever has a couple of fouls, you sit them and wait 5 minutes, right, 4 minutes late into the second, or do you put him right back on the floor? So it just says that coach trusts him and he knows what he's supposed to do.
And I love that he's being aggressive with it. Two finishes that he normally makes, both of them left off the front of the rim. You could see the disappointment on Luke as he came down after that last one. Long three from Reiser, my goodness. Ace Reiser. That's a 25-footer, man.
And you see, you know, Copper Hills going to a 2-3 zone, see if they can slow down Bingham a little bit.
Sorensen trying to answer, and he does. That was a young man who was filling up from long range early in the year. They'd love to find that continued consistency from Nathan over the course of the rest of region play.
No, 2 back-to-back threes, right? I can tell you one thing about Ace. The kid's shooting 40% from the three right now. He's been shooting the ball really well as of late.
That's a great find as well. Newbold on that baseline cut. Bingham's been able to execute that a couple times here tonight.
Hey, great execution on Bingham's part. They've come out 3 possessions in a row, got 3 baskets.
And this is a good Copper Hills defense. On the year, they only give up 55 points. And so typically they've been really strong, and Bingham's just been fantastic to start.
Solid rebound by Whitehead.
Yeah, he had the board and draws the contact. This on Hayden Shepard. It'll be his first. Time is going to come back on the floor here for Copper Hills.
And I think what coach wants to go right now, I think he wants to go right at Luke inside. See if he can get a third one or an early one on him. Get the ball inside the crossing here.
Reiser had that one knocked away, trying to get on it. I think Quincy gonna pick up a cheap one here, and yeah, that's the call.
And from a coaching standpoint, both of these programs at Bingham and Copper Hills, great staffs top to bottom. I'm telling you, I've had the opportunity to coach against both of these coaches in these programs throughout the past few years. They both do a great job.
Yeah, staff's loaded with talent. When you recognize who's on the benches and you see their impact in the game of basketball in the state of Utah,
yep.
There's a lot of smart people running these two programs.
There's no doubt. I'm telling you, there's no doubt.
There's Hymas. Both teams with 5 team fouls. Oh, nice reverse. Kyson being aggressive. Copper Hills hanging around here in this first half.
Just got to string together a couple more stops. You know, what we call a team gets three stops in a row, we call them kills in our program, right? And I think that's what Copper Hills needs to look for right now. Contest shots, but Bingham is sure shooting the ball like crazy right now.
Bingham is, I heard that kills earlier this year for the first time. There's another program that does that as well. And right now, Bingham, I mean, they're just hitting aces on serves every possession.
I know, hot. And defensively, they're also solid.
Substitution here. Moyer going to come on the floor. Langston as well for Copper Hills. For Bingham, Tyler Langston coming on the floor, and Leatherwood back on the floor for the Miners as well.
Bingham shooting that 3-ball right now. When they're shooting that 3-ball at a high percentage, right, makes them real tough to stop, real tough to guard.
Oh, back to Carlson. Emphatic throw down from Devin. They got to be 60% from long range, right? It feels like everything is going in.
I think they're shooting about 75% from the field right now. I can only recall them missing about 3 shots.
Yeah, and when they haven't gotten offensive rebounds off it,
exactly.
It's just been an impressive first half. Quincy
Good
over
hook.
with Hymas.
I think Quincy has to look to be more aggressive offensively. Put the ball on the deck, look to shoot it, look to score it.
The foul there called on Carlson. It's going to be the second personal, and now a decision for Coach Stratman. The big man having picked up number 2. The decision is he'll come off the floor. Whitehead checking in. Good thing for Copper Hills is it's not Carlson. The bad thing is Whitehead's 6'9", so it's, you know.
They bring in good size, good length.
Yeah, Whitehead might have got a piece of that. Langston for 3. Won't go, Whitehead the board. Leatherwood. Dishes. Langston in the paint. Here's Reiser. Leatherwood for 3.
Hey, team shooting this well, man. It gets tough to find answers.
You know, to borrow a phrase, sometimes you feel like a nut. I mean, it's just everything's fallen for Bingham in this first half. Floater in the lane, Langston with the answer.
Good pace by Langston down there with that floater. Copper Hill just has to find a way to get some stops and do a better job at contesting shots, contesting threes. Great screen by Whitehead.
Drive from Newbold off the glass. 2 more. You know, the amazing thing is it's not just one guy. You look at the guys on the floor. Reiser with 8. Leatherwood with 8. Newbold with 7. You got Carlson on the bench. He's got at least 7. As Sorensen hits a much-needed 3 for Copper Hills, but team effort for Bingham here in this first half.
Well, I think Bingham's playing at a great pace offensively. Right now, they feel like they can get whatever they want. They're executing extremely well.
Tough shot there by Reiser. I think Copper Hills got a piece of it. Coming up the floor, here's Hills. Sorensen, he'll try for 3. Won't go. Hymas trying to track that down. Say out off of Bingham.
I love the hustle of Kyson Hymas. I think the kid plays extremely hard, right? You know, you look at this Copper Hills team, he looks like he's a kid. He's a glue guy for this team.
Yeah. Just a junior. Got another year of Kyson. My first chance to see him was really in the Utah Top 50 over the summer. Man, that's a guy that gives a lot of energy. As Moyer couldn't hit that shot. Hymas another offensive board. Hills the three. Too strong. Look at the ball movement from Bingham. It just feels like the ball's flying around.
Doing a good job moving that basketball.
Inside. Tyler Newbold through traffic. Able to finish. Langston. Good defense there by Bryson. Moyer inside. Able to get that one to crawl in.
I think Moore seeing that ball go through the basket for the first time this half, right? I think that's going to open up for him. He's going to gain some confidence throughout the game.
Young man averages 14. That's his first bucket, to your point. And a double dribble here. Turnover, Bingham.
I think they go right back inside the Moore. You know?
I mean, right
he got
now,
a good luck, and I think he has a good matchup inside right now.
I was going to say, with Carlson and Whitehead both on the bench, go right at him, right? Here's Hills over with McCoy. Langston, little hesitation. Nice move by Langston.
Good pump fake, good ball fake. Plays a great pace.
Inside of a minute to go here in our first half. Reiser pull up from the line. Ace from 15. 40 points in the first half. And a dual possession. Great defense there by Reiser. This Bingham team has had double-digit leads in the half in 4 of their last 5 games, Trey.
They come out, and I think the biggest thing that gets them those leads is defensively, right? I know they're hitting shots right now, but they've been really solid on the defensive end and holding Copper Hills to one and dones. I know Copper Hills they've had 2, 3, 4 offensive rebounds, but they've done a really good job of holding Copper Hills to one and dones.
Reiser. Bingham here holding for that last shot. Newbold, clock down to 5. Gets it back to Ace. Tyler, he'll get the 3. That was deflected by Hymas. And the energy man for Copper Hills, Kyson Hymas, making a nice play to close out the half.
That was a great play. One of the very few stops, that we've seen in this first half. But, I thought Bingham shot the ball extremely well. But I think Coach goes in, Copper Hills goes in, they make some adjustments defensively, and they're going to be fine right back in this game.
40-26, the Miners leading the Grizzlies at the break. You're watching Game Night Live's Rewind's Game of the Week, presented by Heidemann Associates and brought to you by the Riley Jensen Mental Performance Group.
I think it's very exciting for our employees here in corporate office to work day in and day out to make a better future for our customers. If I did not think about us as a storage company, I would tell everyone we are a technology company.
There's just a ton of innovation that comes through every single day. So the people that work really hard are the people who succeed here and are willing to work with the different innovation that is coming up at Extra Space as well. One of our values is teamwork. If you ask anyone any questions around here, they're always happy to help. I've noticed that the people who stick around are the people who are team players.
We're a fast-paced, growing organization. There are lots and lots of opportunities to grow here.
And you kind of get that feel when you work here that everyone's trying to do a good job in order to grow with the company.
I cannot imagine a more exciting place for people to come and work and have an impact to the organization and to their lives.
Yeah, I mean, how many plays has Kyson had like that tonight? 3 or 4?
3 or 4. The kid plays extremely hard. He's really done a good job of keeping them in the game with those 50-50 balls and those hustle plays.
Free throw good as Hayden Shepard will come on the floor, and you're a stop away from this being potentially back to single digits. I mean, I know it feels like it's a big deficit. It's really not with all the time that's left in this one. You just got to get defensive stops.
Oh, especially with how Copper Hills executes. I think interesting to see that Bingham goes with a small ball. They go with a small ball lineup here instead of bringing Whitehead off the bench immediately.
And there was one, and then the pass was lost out, so it'll be Bingham basketball.
But I think Copper Hills has to really get that ball inside and get that ball to Luke inside, see if they can attack.
A physical drive there by Leatherwood for the Miners off the glass. Luke now with 10. Young man averaging 13 on the year for the Miners. Hymas off the screen will hand off. Reiser picked the pocket. Has help ahead of him. And it's Bryson with the reverse. Good finish there by Saltus on the. He controlled the ball. You see a lot of kids, especially in high school, they get passes like that and they shoot a bad layup. I thought he stayed under control, got his feet, got underneath him. That was a great pass by Ace Reiser as well. Rebounded by Dupay. It does just feel like this Bingham team, they play fast, but they execute very patient. Like, it doesn't feel like they get rushed at all.
For the most part, I've seen Bingham take one bad shot this entire game. They've played under control. Every shot that they've got, that's the shot they've wanted.
Reiser. Oh! The reverse scoop through traffic. 2 more for Ace. Timeout, Copper Hills. Largest lead of the game for the Miners.
Good take. Hey, I'm telling you, Ace plays at a great pace, under control, does a good job. Bingham executing at a high level right now.
Coach Trey Smith with Cypress High School. Coach, we're going to stay here. We're going to ask you a couple questions. Let's get into some fun stuff. We talked about addition to the shot clock coming next year to the state of Utah. What is that next thing for you? I think a lot of people are excited about shot clock. But when you think about as this game continues to evolve, what's that next thing you'd like to see come to the high school game here?
I think it's going to bring the best out of coaches, right, in terms of a shot clock, right? I've heard a lot of people say they want to add the charge circle in high school basketball. And, there's some controversy there, whatever the case might be, but that could be the next big thing. We'll see. But I'm really happy we got a shot clock, though.
Are you pro restricted area or anti?
I am pro restricted area. I am pro restricted area. I wouldn't mind it at all. It gives us a balance. It gives us an idea of where they want kids to be and what the expectations are, right? I've had a few times where, whether it's us playing against a team or us playing against or us getting the call, a kid's underneath the basket, and you just get a charge. I think it's terrible.
Whitehour had the nice finish for Copper Hills, and that's answered by another Bingham 3. It's Leatherwood from long range. I'll tell you, Coach Smith, he sees a lot of good three-point shooters. Well, we've seen tonight. How about that threaded pass? And Moyer going to pick up the foul, but how in the world does Ace Reiser get that ball through traffic?
Hey, I call that a dime. That was a dime right there. There's not a lot of kids that can make that pass.
All I know I don't know how that pass gets the way through.
Hey, great court vision. They're doing a good job of running in transition, right? I think one of the good things you're going to see adding a shot clock is teams are going to speed up the pace, right? You're going to see more points scored. You're going to see, teams changing defenses late in the shot clock, right? There's a lot of games within the game when you add a shot clock.
And 1 for 2 on the trip. Rebounded there by the Grizzlies. And a foul here on the drive by Langston. This will be called on Dupay. And that is the third on Cam, so he's probably going to have to come off the floor. He will, as Whitehead will come on for the Miners.
That's a big call right there to put, Dupay on the bench. Dupay is a guy, he does it all. He can shoot the three, has a mid-range, scores inside, great defender, great rebounder.
Langston with a nice pull-up off the inbound. It's been a good night for McCoy Langston. I know it hasn't been great for Copper Hills offensively, but he's had a strong night tonight outside. Nice mid-range there for McCoy. So that three from Bryson doesn't go. Grizzlies on the run. To the rim, Whitehour wouldn't go. Batted around, Whitehead has it. Up the floor for Leatherwood. Just a step in front.
See if Copper Hills has a run of them here in the last 3:30. If they can cut this lead down to 10, right, going into the fourth quarter, give them some hope. I think it gives them a chance. They come out with some fire in the fourth. But it's first gonna come with stops. You gotta get stops.
Even that, you've got Moyer under the rim and Whitehead able to regather, deflect the pass. It's just been tough inside tonight with this Bingham length as they go inside with Braden.
Good finish by Whitehead there.
Preseason, I picked Bingham to win 6A. Coach, I'm feeling pretty good about that tonight.
Hey, they're solid all around. They're solid all around, man. Good basketball team, great coaching staff. Understand where your pick is coming from for sure, especially the way they're playing tonight.
Yeah, Langston hitting the three there for Copper Hills. His good night continues. In the paint here, left-handed drive from Leatherwood. A lead back to 20. The thing that's impressive, too, is Bingham hasn't let Copper Hills get back in it. They've kind of built a lead and kept them at arm's length, despite Copper Hills trying to make runs as that one thrown away.
You know what I love to see there? I love to see Caden Jensen run to the baseline and help an opposing player from the other team. You don't see that much these days.
You don't. It's one of the sad things. We talk about fan and fanatic and cheering for teams and all that. Unfortunately, at times you've seen a bit of a raw culture come with that as Moyer able to run the floor and score in transition. I'm with you, man. I'm about where's the sportsmanship side of things, right? Like, that's what we should be teaching and reiterating.
And I don't think it's, as a competitor, right, I don't think it's a bad thing for kids to compete or for you to compete. You knock someone to the floor, you help them back up.
Yeah.
Right? It's just competition. It's the game within the game, but you can always be tough and play physical basketball, but also, show good sportsmanship.
Turnover there by Leatherwood, the travel. You know what they say, don't you, Coach?
I have no idea.
Guilty feet have got no rhythm. It's
That's
a little
true.
George Michael for our fans out there. A
That's
careless
true.
whisper.
I love to hear it.
Straight away, three from Langston won't go. As Bingham here, Coach Stratman, I think gave a signal of, hey, we'll just be patient here. As there's 1 minute left in this first quarter. Our clock on your screen is wrong. We'll try to get that synced for you. Reiser in traffic, won't go. Leatherwood, Whitehead with the rebound and drawing the foul. So it'll be free throws here for Braden Whitehead.
And kind of speaking of earlier, right, you talked about how Bingham hasn't let Copper Hills get back in this game. They haven't let him get back in the game because even when Copper Hills is getting stops, right, Bingham's finding ways to get offensive rebounds, right, and give themselves more opportunities to score.
Yeah.
And I think that's, with their length and their athleticism, I think that's one of the best parts about their team is, they might not get the shot that they want, but they give themselves so many more opportunities by offensive rebounding.
2 for 2 for Graydon. 45 seconds left here in the third. And Langston had that off the feet. I'll tell you this too. I know you always want to win, Coach, but sometimes a lopsided loss, you can build off that, right? You get the troops kind of refocus, come back. This game at Copper Hills, I don't expect to be a 20-point battle.
No, I think Copper Hills goes to the drawing board, right? They watch film, they see, what areas, right, Bingham exposed them in, but a 20-point loss or a 1-point loss, it's all the same. The kids compete, they want to win, coaches want to win.
The RPI doesn't treat it any differently. As riser misses, the heave, and that'll be out with time on the clock. Just a second left. And that's going to be short. Third quarter comes to a close. It's a 20-point lead for the Miners. You're watching Game Night Live Rewind's Game of the Week.
I think it's very exciting for our employees here in corporate office to work day in and day out to make a better future for our customers. If I did not think about us as a storage company, I would tell everyone we are a technology company.
There's just a ton of innovation that comes through every single day. So the people that work really hard are the people who succeed here and are willing to work with the different innovation that is coming up at Extra Space as well. One of our values is teamwork. If you ask anyone any questions around here, they're always happy to help. I've noticed that the people who stick around are the people who are team players.
We're a fast-paced, growing organization. There are lots and lots of opportunities to grow here.
And you kind of get that feel when you work here that everyone's trying to do a good job in order to grow with the company.
I cannot imagine a more exciting place for people to come and work and have an impact to the organization and to their lives.
Start of the fourth quarter, Dane Stewart, Coach Trey Smith of the Cypress Pirates. 58-38, Miners been in control throughout. They'll start with the basketball here in the fourth quarter. This is Riser and the Bingham student section feeling confident. The Copper Hills student section trying to break the bleachers. They're jumping around a little bit, trying to get some energy going here for the visiting side.
I've been very impressed with both student sections, man. This is what high school sports is about at the end of the day.
Langston with the three for Copper Hills. I agree. It's been a great showing from both student sections tonight. And it's one of the things where I feel like a lot of student sections, we've seen them haven't been at maybe the size they have been in recent years, but tonight we've had good showings. It's been great to see. Good atmosphere here tonight.
I was most impressed with Farmington and Davis at Davis.
That was unreal.
That was unbelievable.
A bucket there from Bagley. I was there in that building. Coach, that was probably a top 2 environment I've been a part of. I've done this for 15 years. It was unreal.
I saw some pictures, saw some videos on Twitter. I was like, wow. That's what a student section is supposed to look like.
It was great.
Good hustle.
Sorensen shot blocked. And I think that's going to be out on Nate. Wrong place at the wrong time as that ball came down on him.
And speaking of, the kid that makes that play is Dupe. He moves on, next play. I'm telling you, he's a kid that does it all. And I think as a college coach at the next level, he's a glue guy for a team at the next level.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter what level he plays at, but he's a guy who's going to be able to do it all.
Well, here's a guy at the next level that can score it. Leatherwood hitting the three. As he's up to 18 tonight. Remember, this Copper Hills team in the RPI ranked 5th coming into this contest, so this is a pretty impressive showing by the Miners. This hesitation there by Whitehour rattles out. Here is Dupay. Won't go. Langston with the board. Deflected. Bingham still with it somehow. Reiser. Skips across.
Good skip pass.
21 points for Luke Leatherwood. Moyer, tough turnaround, won't go. They say out off of Hymas. Bingham basketball. All right, Coach, let's get into some other topics. I've seen on Twitter, we got ourselves a Raiders fan on the broadcast tonight. NFL overtime, how do you feel about it?
It honestly, it needs to go to college style, man.
We were getting along so well.
It needs to go college style. You know, and obviously, I know that's the rule. That's always been the case, right? But the games that we have seen, these past 3 weeks, right? And so you go back to the Kansas City Bills game. I think if the Bills win the coin toss, they probably win. And then every Kansas City Chiefs fan, everybody from Kansas City in the office, everyone changes overtime rules. 2 good quarterbacks, 2 good explosive teams offensively. Like, you want to see both teams have a chance to go and score a touchdown.
Well, you made a friend here tonight, and fair enough. Nice play there by Moyer, drawing the contact. He'll head to the line. Is able to score that one.
But I know you mentioned I'm a Raiders fan. We just hired McDaniels.
Yeah, how you feel about that?
I love every second of it. I'll tell you why I love every second of it. He finally admitted that Tom Brady's fumble was a fumble back in the playoffs. You know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure our viewers know exactly what I'm talking about. He was asked in the interview, was it a fumble? Yes was the answer. I love the guy that much more.
Oh, Quincy Hills with the take there. You know, some storylines just never die, and that's okay. That's all right.
It won't.
Yeah, hey. That's great. I did not hear that. That's the first I've heard of that. So anyway, that's certainly going to win a lot of Raiders fans' hearts. That's for certain. I know another one, part of the Rewind family, that would agree with you is Reiser on that tape. He's up to 14. Nice roll there by Howick. Lost it. Contact here. Summit with 3:47.
What you've seen well from Bingham, I think, throughout the course of this game is they have great help side defense, right? I think a lot of guys are on string. They run pick and roll, strong side. Everybody from the weak side's over. They're in the paint. They do a really good job.
Leatherwood and Reiser both coming off the floor for Bingham. Reiser unofficially, I think he had 14. Leatherwood unofficially with 21. Would presume their night's likely complete. Bingham will head to the road, take on Riverton on Friday as they work to Carlson inside. 2 more there for Devin. He's up to 13. Josh Pomeranian came on the floor for Copper Hills at that last whistle. Able to fight through the defense there, score it. As we're down to 3 minutes to go.
You know, looking at 6A, I think top to bottom, man, you have a lot of good schools, right? Even, you know, maybe you're a team right now that's slightly out of the top 10. You know, you look at teams like AF slightly out of the top 10, right? Fremont out of the top 10. Farmington out of the top 10, and Farmington has, you know, arguably the best player in our state right now. So there's a lot of good teams, you know, top to bottom.
Let me ask you about that a little bit, because you bring up a point that I want to touch on. Cypress right now, you guys are 9 in the RPI, I believe. had a tough start to the year. 1-4, I think, out of the gate. You guys have been on a tear since. It feels like one of the things I've noticed, not just with you guys, but it's true. It's been true in football. It feels like it's hard to make up ground in the RPI. Would you feel that with Cypress this year a little bit? Like you get off to a tough start, but as you've kind of gotten your wheels under you, your rhythm, it's been tough to see that pay off in the RPI as the season's gone on.
I for the most part, for these past couple years, I think the RPI, I think they've got it right. When we went out, we were in that start. We started 1-4, right? And I think we were at 16th or 17th, and then we started getting our feet underneath us a little bit.
Yeah.
We've had some big wins, and guys finally started playing. We started playing a lot better and playing together. So it's slowly but surely it's about climbing. We have, like you said earlier, we have a top 10 game Friday. We play against a really good Kearns team. So, we play them twice. We got them on the 4th, and we turn around, play them again on the 16th. So we'll be challenged for sure, but those games are extremely important for us in terms of RPI.
It's as a team in your Region 2, has that changed the way that you view your region competition or that region championship where you don't have a seed based on your region finish anymore? It's all RPI, or does that not really change it for you as a coach?
That doesn't change it for us. That doesn't change it for me as a coach personally. We've had a goal, to compete for a region championship, and here's another take, and I think regions are important. I really do. I've been hearing rumors about, getting rid of the regions and all this other stuff, but I'm pro regions, man. I think it's important for the kids to, play for something else, right? And at the end of the day, there's one team that wins the state. There's 6 teams that win a state championship between classifications 1A and 6A.
Yep.
So, playing for a region championship, I think, is just as important as anything else. It's in college basketball. Why can't we not have it in high school?
I completely agree with you on that one. I think it's important to have rewards and things for teams to aim for, right? Not every team knows they can compete for a state championship, but they can go compete for a region.
No, for sure.
And I think that's important as we've got a offensive foul here called on Bingham.
No, and I agree 100%, right? Not every team out there can play for a state championship, and it also gives, the community, something to be proud of, right?
Down to 1:10 left here in regulation. Dane Stewart, Coach Trey Smith of the Cypress Pirates. Coach, what have you learned tonight about these two teams, Copper Hills and then Bingham?
I think Bingham they came out, they had a hot start. They shot the ball extremely well, very sound defensively. I think Copper Hills came out slow. They were a little bit stifled by what Bingham was doing to them defensively as well. But, I think it'll be a little different when Copper Hills goes back to Copper Hills and they have, there's round 2 for sure.
Copper Hills will have to shake this off. Their next game, they'll go on the road to West Jordan. That's a good West Jordan team, a team you're familiar with. They were in Region 2 the last couple years. Logan Prince, Tafahama, they got a lot of pieces, the Jags do.
And I swear, those kids have been there for 10 years.
Right?
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, man,
yeah.
These guys just don't go away. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way about us, too. It's like, when are these kids going to graduate? I don't know. But you're right, though. West Jordan, good team, solid, execute really well, right? And I think it's going to be another tough matchup for Copper Hills, but another great game.
Well, this Region 3 is that tough. I mean, you talk about West Jordan, Harriman, Mountain Ridge. They haven't won a region game coming into games tonight. That was a top 10 team. So this Region 3 is loaded. But tonight, man, it was all Bingham from the get-go. And they'll walk out of here 78-55, your final over Copper Hills. Coach, final thoughts and then a player of the game tonight.
Man, I'm going to have to give player of the game to the Bingham roster. I think every kid, right, went out and did their job, right? If I had to name a specific guy, I thought Ace, right, being the point of attack and, controlling the tempo and the pace of the game for his team. he ran it extremely well. You know, he got his looks, got his shots, but he presented opportunities in transition for his guys. He set them up offensively and got guys the ball where they needed to be.
Bingham, 78-55. They improved to 16-2 on the year, 5-0 in region plays. They hand Copper Hills their first region loss. For Vince Francis, Trey Smith, my name is Dane Stewart. Thank you for joining us here on Game Night Live, everyone's Game of the Week, presented by Haddam Associates and brought to you by the Riley Jensen Mental Performance Group. Good night, everybody.